wake up disgusted, having no one to trust in, and you lost a girl you in love with. My homie Johnny gave his life away to some bride. Would've gave up everything for her, he treated her like a god. Till one night, thought he surprised her, came home early from his work, opened the door and on the floor he saw her panties, bra on his shirt. He walked over to the bedroom, all he heard was squeaking and screaming. He was so fucking in shock, he said he couldn't even believe it. He didn't even walk in, just went home, grabbed a fifth of gin. Called me crying, said he was frightened and he wanted the pain to end. I told him chill out, I'll be there soon. But by the time that I got there, people were in the streets, there were some ambulances and cops there. I guess when I hung up the phone, Johnny picked up his 45 and put the barrel up to his dome. All he left behind was a note that said I couldn't cope. I'm sorry if you care, but I feel like my life's a joke. Up on a hill across the blue lake, that's where I had my first heartbreak. I still remember how it all changed. My mother said, don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you. Don't you worry now. Now Julie lived down the street. She wasn't always accepted, she was a little bit unique. She spent her whole life just trying to be cool, but she wasn't ever that popular and the other kids were cruel. When she went to school, they ignored her, acted like she wasn't there. Her mom was always at work and her father just never cared. So she spent the nights in a pillow, just drowning out all her tears in fear that she'd never be accepted by her peers. So she started smoking those cigarettes, she started popping those pills. She even cut her wrist sometimes, she loved the way it feels. Started wearing long sleeves to cover the scars. She even got grounded for stealing her mother's car. So she snuck out and got blacked out. Woke up the next day in some random person's house. Found out about a month later she had a baby in her womb. The next morning Julie's mother found her hanging in her room. Up on a hill across the blue lake, that's where I had my first heartbreak. I still remember how it all changed. My mother said, don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you. Don't you worry now. My message is that life is way too precious, so be happy with your own and never want somebody else's. Plus you never know when it's gone, so think about that every time somebody play this song. My mother said, don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you. Don't you worry now. Don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you. Don't you worry now.
Let me see you put 'em up. Reach the sky, touch the stars up above. Cause it's one time for the underdog. One time for the underdog. You got the world on your team, even if that ain't what it seems. It's one time for the underdog. One time for the underdog. A young nigga with $1 and a dream, and these Nikes on my feet, trying to stay up out the streets. So I'm rocking
rhyming, pulling 187s all on these beats. Instead of on the concrete, submitting my future while they were focused on what they cheap. But shit, I'm like a cheap head honcho. Tell me that it's impossible, I give it to you pronto. Be working all these late nights and these early mornings like Alonzo. So one day they'll be calling me great, just call me Gonzo. But I'm never acting, nor is anybody pulling strings. Everything I have came from sacrificing everything. I traded working 9 to 5 for the minimum for working non-stop, so my life be like a cinema screen. But in the end, I wouldn't have it any other way. Got on my knees and for this rap to work is what I prayed. And that was happening, crunching numbers like Captain, a serial killer, compelling listeners with his fashionable words. Never acting my verbs, but truly fashion to serve not only masses but curves, not just the hood but the birds. Know you hear it every time I grace the mic, then I give it to God, feeling blinded by the lights in this song.
Let me see you put 'em up, reach the skies, touch the stars up above. Cause it's one time for the underdog, one time for the underdog. You got the world on your team, even if that ain't what it seems. It's one time for the underdog, one time for the underdog.
20-year-old dreaming of whipping Monte Carlos and gold jewelry, looking like I came from El Dorado. Pick up the pen and pad, instead of spitting gin and badge, I'm painting pictures with my words, just call me Young Picasso. These haters only gas me up and then I mash the throttle. Being drinkers think it's safe to say should drop the bottle, cause what I'm spitting is proof and truth is hard to swallow. When rappers losing their heads, that's word to Sleepy Hollow. Nowadays they tryna flex, Johnny Bravo, and I be Rocky in his second fight against Apollo. Underdog, but you see I won the war. Asking me if I could spit is asking me to raise the bar. I've been in this place before, matter of fact most of my life they told me that I would fail, die before I prove them right. Pinning verses on my lunch bag, now I'm doing shows. Lady Luck blew me a kiss, now I'm a prince, never a toad. Bitch your bottom, I'm the greatest, that's on everything I own. And though it isn't much, I want the world like Al Capone. I'm coming for the glory, this is a sermon to the masses. The kid you shitted on is telling you to wipe his ass.
Let me see you put 'em up, reach the skies, touch the stars up above. Cause it's one time for the underdog, one time for the underdog. You got the world on your team, even if that ain't what it seems. It's one time for the underdog, one time for the underdog.
Motherfucker.